So this is a freshly ground skew. It's 3/4 of an inch across, so it's considered a 3/4 inch skew. This is what I refer to as the long point. This is the short point, and you can see that the bevel is especially long. So I aim for a combined, since it's a double bevel, a combined angle of 35 degrees. So using this angle checker, you can see it comes in at 35. But, you know, because it's a double bevel, your actual cutting angle is a really kind of crazy acute. In this case, if it's combined 35, 17.5 degrees. And it's partly for that reason that very long bevel allows you to make such great cuts, but also, you know, presents problems in terms of making sure you present the tool correctly. And even after getting a good grind, I take in this case, a 600 mesh diamond credit card stone, and I'll hone the skew. And I like to rub it circular. It gives me more control, and I make sure there's contact between the heel of the bevel and the edge. You don't want to round that edge over, and you do it on both sides, making sure you don't have any more of a wire edge or a burr. You just continue to do that, and eventually you get that razor sharp edge that makes using a skew so great. It'll last a long time, that razor sharp edge. So to practice making V cuts with the long point of the skew, start with a cylinder. In this case, it's about 1.5 inches, and then just use a pencil and mark out lines every 3/4 inches. Just make it easy for me. I just laid out those pencil marks right on the tool rest. You have to make sure your tool rest is at the center or just very slightly below. That allows you to have that point of the long point of the skew to be working a little higher. And then just go ahead, keeping the tool at 90 degrees to the work. Start with the handle very low, and then you just bring the point forward and just lift the handle. That first cut will be a little rough because even how sharp as that point is, you're just not giving yourself any clearance. It's just pushing right in. So go ahead right on down. Now to make that left side of the V cut, bring your tool over to the, well, I'll have to go wider. I'm trying to position the camera so that you can see that the tool is in right angles at this point. And again, with the handle low, make that initial cut. That'll be the bottom of the V. And notice that the tool and the handle is at 90 degrees to the work. And I think the best way to illustrate this now will be at this center one. I'm going to make the left side of that V. So I'm now going to take it, which was at 90 degrees, and I'm going to bring the handle over to the left about as much as that bevel is, which is in this case 17.5 degrees. It's not that critical. But more importantly, or maybe not more importantly, but just as importantly, I'll tilt it ever so slightly. If you think of this as dead noon, if you're thinking of a clock face and the orientation of the blade at noon going straight up, I could use my pencil, I guess. You want to go very slightly 2 minutes or so before noon. So move the handle and then go very slightly and then make this next cut. That gives you the left side of that V. See how it's now going down? It's a nicer cut because you have the clearance from that first initial cut. Now what happened there was the bevel slipped. I didn't have the angle proper. And I'll go ahead and continue that. Now to make the right side of the V, I'll just do the opposite. I'll swing the handle over to the right, and I'm hitting the tripod. And again, now if you thought of this as noon, I'm positioning the handle to the right, and now I'm going to go like 2 minutes after noon. Very slightly, you don't have to go as much as you think. And now I'll start high and lift the handle up and move the point forward. And of course, I'm trying to work with the tripod. Sorry about that. Okay, now I'm clear of the tripod. To make the V deeper, you'll have to do the same thing. You don't have to do the center anymore. You can come in, and I just work the left. I suggest you just work one side, and as you're beginning to do this, you'll find that you're better at one side than the other. And then just go ahead and do that, lifting that handle, angling this way and this way. Some people say if you line that, if you eyeball it and watch that edge, it should go right into that bottom of that valley where you want to cut. Again, I'm having difficulty because of the tripod leg. But that'll give me now my left side. So I'm not even going to bother going any farther than here because the tripod's in the way. But I'm now going to show you how I'll do the right side. Swing the handle, tilt it. I should say 5 minutes after 12. And I apologize for that. I'm trying to position the handle relative to the tripod leg. And it's not enough just to pivot the edge into the work. You have to move it forward also. I'm hitting it. Sorry about that. So you'll see I didn't make a very clean V-cut here. So I'm going to just roll with this. I'm going to show you another way. To practice the V-cuts, I would recommend marking it out the 3/4 inches, making those initial center cuts, okay, where that bottom of that V is going to be, then going either side, left or right, but go ahead down the whole line and then come back down the whole line. So I'm going to clean that up. I can't believe I was at 800 RPM, which I guess is just as well when you're doing something like this on camera. But I'm going to bring up the RPMs. I'm going to clean up some of these V's, and I'll be working mostly on the left because I want to avoid the tripod leg. So I'm at 800 RPM. I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to try to relax. And again, on this left side, swinging it. And I'm going to clean up that side. And of course, I'm right where the tripod is. Can't do that, but I'll do this one. And of course, I'm making a larger, deeper V. And this now is the point where I want to stress. You need to, if this was the tool rest, let me shut this off. If this was the tool rest, and here's the point that's doing the work, I think I'm at the right spot. If this is the tool rest, the top of my finger, I have the handle down low. I present that point up a little higher than normally. Don't think about working on the center with this type of practice or this type of cut. You're working up higher on the wood. Then you lift the handle, but you also have to move the handle forward. If you don't, you're just going to turn this into a cut that's not very satisfactory. And eventually you'll get nice, evenly spaced V's. Again, I'm going to go off to the left side and do the right. And I think with this camera angle, you'll be able to see that I did pretty consistent V-cuts that are clean, okay, on these three. This one not so bad, but of course I can't access these. So listen, while it's running, I'm just gonna do a quick peeling cut, a rough peeling cut, then a smooth peeling cut. Then I'm gonna show you another technique to how to make the V-cuts. Well, I'll work right here. So I'm just going to use this. That's the reason I like the curved edge. We're going a little off topic here. But the reason I like the edge slightly rounded is that both of these points are a little bit away now. It won't scour the work. And what I'm going to do is what you've seen before is I'm just going to use this in a peeling cut to rapidly remove, start with a slightly smaller diameter cylinder. Now I can go ahead and continue this. This is what I would call a rapid peeling cut or a rough peeling cut. And it leaves me a cylinder pretty quick. I have a little bulb here. I'll just get rid of that. I could also, this is the finish that leaves. It's pretty rough, but I could also then once this bevel rubbing cut, but at some point I could just very gently go across. That's what I call my finish peel cut. And that can get you out of a lot of trouble. Okay, you could also now turn this into a planing cut, which leaves the best possible surface. I'll illustrate that. and you'll see the difference between the two. This is leaving a very nice cut edge. And on the other, no matter how confident you think you're going to be with the skew chisel, it's very humbling. So we're just going to get rid of that, and I'll show you again the difference between the surfaces. That's the planing cut on the left. That's even the really finish peeling cut. You'll see the difference in the surface. So let me just show you another way to make a V cut. And that would be, again, marking out where you want it. But in this case, you're just going to go to the left. Swing the handle over to the left. Angle it about 5 minutes after 12, right? If this is, you're not even worried about making that initial cut now, and this more advanced cut. But you're angling it and bringing this over. And now we're going to make to the left a series of cuts. 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to make the final cut just once on this side. And that's how a pro would make a V cut. Of course, you wouldn't have to go back and forth like that. All right, so it's a great technique, and it's once you practice a lot, you'll get the hang of it. Thanks.